What's up, guys? All right, so looking at gold, came perfectly into our zone, formed the candlestick that we needed. I'm just looking for a fill on that gap, and then I'm going to get in at gold. Nasdaq, probably our entry would be at the break of this 15-minute trend. Is audio alright, or is it just for our loves trading? No audio? Alright, how's the audio now? Okay, cool. So no, I'm not in a trade just yet. This was our setup for gold, like I did in the pre-markup. But I'm essentially just looking for a FEG fill, and then I'll be entering on gold. What I was saying with Nasdaq is we'll probably enter based off a break on this 15-minute trend. So it would be lower, but I'm first going to focus on gold and see exactly what Nasdaq wants to do. So with gold at the moment, we just wait and see. Probably will get an entry like that. It's roughly like a 1, 2, 3 trade setup. Could even go further up to last week high. So yeah, close to like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. Yeah, 10 more minutes till market open. Then we just see what kind of trade setup we get. Uh, 3363. Two, 3, 4, 0. And then TP, realistic TP would be the yes 1.618, so 3429, but we could aim for last week's high. Gold must just retest. Yeah, exactly. Which one has your preference, Jamie, setup-wise? I'm leaning more towards gold, to be honest. Leaning more towards gold. I think Nasdaq will be quite interesting to see how New York opens with all the stuff that happened over the weekend. I think, to be honest, right, my gut feeling with Nasdaq is just market open, straight sink. If price had to go up from market open, I would be really concerned about the manipulation. With gold, I kind of think the same thing, but instead it's just gonna go up dramatically. But we'll see. I could 100% be wrong, but definitely preferring gold. So 7 more minutes. Gold, I said 349. Udo, what's up, bro? How you doing, broski? Yeah, definitely favoring gold instead. Nasdaq is going to be really, 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 really interesting on market open. See, 4 more minutes, and then hopefully we can get our trade. I'm just concerned if market opens and just goes crazy in one direction. That's my only real concern. Please blow your nose. I just have a sniffing problem, bro. Are you going first for gold and for Nasdaq? Probably just gonna be focusing on gold, bro. To be very honest with you. See, 3 more minutes. Nasdaq, we broke that trend, which is what we were looking for, and then probably going to see a continuation to the downside. I'm thinking that we'll probably hit, yes, 1.618 first, so probably 21,382 and 350 around that area, and then depending on the volume coming in with the sellers, we could maybe see 21,120. So yeah, essentially in Nasdaq, that would have been it over there. Stop loss would be at the head, and then target would be essentially that. Let's go back to gold. We got 17 more seconds. CNAS, there we go. Not too sure if it's gonna be a complete melt, but that's definitely the starting point. And then gold, we just need that pullback. Are you on gold? No, just not yet. I'm waiting for a tap into this FEG, which is quite optimistic, to be very honest with you, considering, you know, the news and stuff. But we see what we can get. Yo, Daniel, what's up, bro? Damn. Are we in? Did you enter NAS? No, I didn't. This was just the analysis. I was focusing purely on gold, on that retest, because like I said, with Nasdaq is going to be market open, boom, straight bearish, and it's a little bit of a gamble for myself to just go in with that trade. Although a lot of confluence was there for sure, but personally I didn't enter that trade. And then with gold, we wanted that retest on that FEG, which we could still get, but we wait. You sound down. Nah, I'm just mellow. I'm just mellow. It's been a long day, bro. Yo, it's been so long. Do you think the dollar will weaken? Because, bro, like, I'm also very interested. So theoretically, Betty, like, it should, right? It definitely should. But look, I always believe trade what you see, okay? But you can't ignore fundamentals. So I was actually looking at USD JPY, and on the previous pre-markup today, I said, like, we could reject at the yes 1.618 or even higher, and price rejected really nicely. My only long opportunity would be roughly here, all right, at 145.79. But on the what time frame was it? 4 hour maybe? Yo, even more. I think it's a daily. Daily, I have a W pattern here. Pretty standard. So technically, I would like to see USD go up against the Japanese yen, but it makes sense that the dollar would weaken with the involvement of the war, right? So I guess we'll just see how the market react to that. Gold so far climbing. Nas, as we predicted, guys, market open straight tank. And then gold. Let's just see if we get that breakout on gold. Well, I'm in one short dilemma because if dollar weakens because of war, euro would also fall victim GBP. So what? Because if dollar weakens because of war, euro would also fall victim. So why are you in a dilemma? Is it because you based in the UK? Because Euro USD, for example, like how do I trade it? GBP USD. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. I think, like, to be honest, when you're involving the USD currency against like GBP or Euro, I think okay, remember when you trade forex, right? You focusing on the economy, right? And economy is really really broad. Economy development, as well as this involvement with the war and stuff. So I think the country that has the least involvement at the moment would be more stable. It would definitely be more stable. News in 10 minutes. Let's see. Existing home sales. Forecast 3.96. Yeah, I'm still like, I think USD JPY will still come down. But we don't fully know that. NAS, wow. Look at that. So NAS literally bounced off the daily low. So with that, we could even maybe grab something up here. Let's see how NASDAQ reacts, because then maybe we can grab a trade. But again, with this, right, we need to be cautious of if prices completely switch in bias, if prices are going to continue heading to the upside, especially with how this candle is looking. It looks like a bunch of buyers just came in, right? Bitcoin USD bounced off ESGZ. It's always nice to see. Then gold. So also the nice thing with gold for today, right? Remember, we identified this morning star pattern on the daily time frame. So if price closes above this 50% mark, literally tomorrow's trade will be pretty simple. Obviously subjective to what's happening with the war and stuff. But if we close above that 50% mark, the golden zone for tomorrow would be a crucial confidence for us, for our entry, especially for longs. So just depending on what today's daily range is, tomorrow will be quite a nice setup for gold. Ideally, we get in the wave early, but we just need to consider all factors here. Full port? Nah, I would never condone it, but it's just, yeah, I would never condone it, bro. The risk for me to tell you to full port is just not worth it. Like, if you win, that would be so sick, but like if you lose, do you know what I'm saying? I think if you lost, it would feel worse than the benefit of you actually maximizing that trade. Unless you throw like a couple millis in and then you shoot your guy a wire, then then we're talking different schemes here. But yeah, definitely wouldn't consider full porting. Let me show you guys my my progress so far with my GOAT account. Don't know why it hasn't loaded, but goat's account should be up like 6.3%, 6.7%. Okay, well, we just wait for a refresh. When did you take the trades? I took, it was the Bitcoin trade that I took last week, and then I shorted USD JPY. Yeah, shorted USD JPY. That was Friday, and then I wasn't on stream, bro. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes like I can't be on stream like the whole time. But like I give you guys the key areas. You just need to execute it yourself. I think like literally all the setups that I took, I shared on stream. But my bad. Okay, Bitcoin's quite interesting, right? So we could possibly look to take a short in this area, which is what we did mention. But like I said with Bitcoin, it's quite interesting because it's the first time it's kind of been in this environment, environment being edge of World War III. So this trade setup is, a lot more skeptical than Nasdaq and gold, because Nasdaq and gold has some backed history. Whereas with Bitcoin, it's just a little bit more tougher to assume where it might head. But let's see, once price comes into this area, we're looking at 102,720. Once price comes in there, we dissect into 5-minute time frame and we see for a possible opportunity. USD JPY still having some fun there. I took it early, but nice, bro. I missed my entry because we tapped into that GZ, which was our initial entry. I did mention it in the previous stream, and yeah, I missed that. I got alerts, but I literally wasn't by my phone. So that, FEG was quite optimistic for us to enter based off that, because we already got our initial entry on the golden zone. Let's see, Nas. I'm just doing gold Nasdaq, a bit tricky. Yeah, you'll see like at times like this, they usually move opposite directions. But right now, gold's going up as soon as Nasdaq, which is quite interesting. Gold might be turning over back down, but yeah, I was expecting Nasdaq market open tank, which it did, but a little bit more. I wasn't expecting it to just match daily low, a previous day low. So that was Friday's low. Selling gold now, 3381. And what's your target, bro? What you aiming for? Three three seven eight. 3. Okay. So for us, it's more so here. Nasdaq tapping into the SGZ. What a crazy candle that is. Let's see. Okay, gold is boosting. So I think we missed our entry with gold. Doesn't look like we're going to get a gold entry. Bitcoin, we're just waiting for Bitcoin. And then NASDAQ, maybe slightly higher up. Second position, 3385, trading target, SL3388. 388. Hey Jimmy, are you in the trade for Nas? No, I'm not, bro. I'm waiting for maybe a possible short at this point, but it's a little bit. The confidence in this trade isn't that great. Reason why is because of how price just sank, but like recovered so quickly. Literally in the next like 5 minute candle it recovered. So that's my main concern. But we could possibly still enter. We just wait for proper confirmation, and then with entry, I'll probably risk like a slightly less amount. Could definitely still enter, but the moment it breaks our zone, we just have to let it go and not try like hunt for a trade, which I fall victim to as well. So existing home sales. All right, so it looks like we might be able to get our Bitcoin trade set up. Let's just wait and see. Bitcoin looking juicy for sales. Yeah, it is indeed, bro. We're just waiting for confirmation on the smaller time frame. So once price taps into specifically 102,700, just look for that confirmation, and then once we get it, we enter. Bitcoin, where's your stop at? For Bitcoin, I'm probably looking at 104, basically 50. Yeah, 104, basically 104.50. So we tapped our zone. Now we're just waiting for that confirmation. So this 5 minute, we just want to close bearish, wait for the next 5 minute. Oh, Nasdaq is flying, so yeah, we'll be staying out of Nasdaq for sure. We have this resistance. That's basically it. Let's see on 5. All right, so just 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and we can look for an entry on Bitcoin. TP. Well, my final TP is 95k. That's final TP. But again, for us to enter, we needed that 5-minute candle to close bearish, which it didn't. Okay, Nasdaq, no longer looking at Nasdaq. All right, guys. It broke into my support resistance zone, surpassed ESGZ. Crazy manipulation. That's why Mondays are just nuts. But to be fair, it's also, a mixture of what's happening fundamentally too. So right now what we do is wait for this 5-minute candle now with Bitcoin. And then depending on how that candle closes with correlation to the 15-minute, we can maybe get a setup. And gold, damn, that's crazy. Gold rejected on that morning star. I'll probably stay out of gold as well, to be honest. All we have is that FEG. If we can get a bounce again on the GZ and the fulfillment on that FEG, then we can maybe look for a long on gold. So our stop loss would be way tighter, like probably something like this, and then we'll get entry on that. Gusto, what's up, bro? Where's the L? Alright, 5-minute looking good. Just exited on gold. Nice, bro. Very, very nice. Let's see, 15-minute candle. 15-minute looks good. Like, that's great rejection in our area. We just need to see the 5-minute close bearish. Oh, USD JPY bombed. Shit. That's crazy. I got in because 3 candles back on the 5-minute broke below the previous bull candle. Alright, 20 more seconds on this candle. I'm liking how it looks. 15-minute also looks really, really good. would be quite a premature entry, but I'm happy taking it. So I'll probably do like a 1% risk on this Bitcoin trade. Definitely a 1% risk. Right, so let's see if we can get in at a better entry point, slightly higher. Anyways, you don't usually trade Monday, so it's still surprising you. Yeah, I know. Crazy. I was just like, I think with all the build up on the weekend with the news, I honestly assumed that there would be like a really, really crazy setup. Alright, I'm going to take entries on Bitcoin over here. We could get a better entry at like 102,500, but I'm happy entering at this price point. I thought the markets would be down. I also thought so. It was, but then it wasn't. Okay, if you guys did wait a little bit, you would have gotten a way better entry than me. So I'm in on Bitcoin. It's basically a 1-to-4.5 ratio trade. And I'll put all the stats down for you in a bit. So that's essentially our trade, what we're looking at, that move. So Bitcoin sell 1% at, I got in 102,380, 102,380. SL is at 104,450. And then possible TPs, right? So TP1, I'll probably aim for the bottom of this S and R zone. So that'd be just saying 99,100. And then TP2, would be between 95, let's do 95, whoa, that would be crazy, 600 slash, all right. So that's the setup. I'll copy this and paste it for you guys. So yeah, that's the setup that I'm looking at. It's going to be more of like a swing trade, to be honest, guys. So yeah, if we had to stay on and monitor, well, ideally you do monitor it, but 104. Oh, so SL is at 104,015, sorry. We'll just do 20. So at a certain point, we should move to SL to entry, right? And at that point, so this is how we will determine our traffic. All right, we have a FEG, we also have a trend. So a 15-minute trend. So what I would do, I would put an alert on the 15-minute trend, but then I would most likely move my SL once it touches that FEG. So for example, 101,830, move SL to entry at 101,830. Entry at, sorry bro, 102, my bad. I wish I got in at 103, that would be crazy. 102. Let me just copy that again. There you go. All right, so that's the setup, guys. We just let it play out. Again, I'm risking 1% on this trade. And 1% to get essentially 4.4%. And then I think if price heads to 97,500, I do pass one account. So roughly at this point. So I'll just put Jamie passes his prop account. And then we'll put an alert here too. Alright, so yeah, that's essentially it. We just let it play out. Again, if I was you guys, right, put an alert at 101,830, because at that point we would move SL to entry, right? Make it a risk-free trade, and then we just let it play out. We're still quite far from TP1, but it's a big trade. It's a big trade. And yeah, it's quite controversial because I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, but trade what you see, right? And also, like I mentioned with Bitcoin, it's essentially the first time it's been in this kind of environment. So time will tell to see how it reacts to all of this war news that's occurring. Gusto, yes, you had a question, bro. So if you guys have questions, shoot them through. After the questions, I'm gonna probably head, and I'll just chat to you guys on Discord once we do move our SL to NG. We actually might move our SL to NG pretty soon. Let's see. Do you think we can get our TPs still this week? For what pair? Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin. Yeah, for sure. So although this is a swing trade, I'll be very honest with you. We could probably hit this tomorrow. I don't think it will take 3-4 days. I think late tomorrow, we could maybe see price hit to this point. Now, also remember, right, news, all right, about Bitcoin's progress is what also moves the market a lot. So because Bitcoin's been trending a lot because it's been stabilizing above 100K for so long, okay? And yes, that's very true. But what if price breaks below the daily low, all right, which is basically 98,350, and heads slightly lower? It's going to be publicized on probably all the news websites. Bitcoin trading below, Bitcoin dropped this percentage, whatever. I'm not saying it's going to. Hopefully it does, for this trade's sake. But that will furthermore push the market even more down. So the nice thing with Bitcoin is it moves a lot. It moves a lot. So I don't think it will take a week for us to hit the CP. Probably tomorrow, hopefully. And yeah. But in terms of the other pairs, so gold, again, if it falls this FEG and golden zone, we could maybe get in. But I don't want to just jump in any trade. Nasdaq, bro, super unpredictable. I think depending on how it trades on this FEG daily high, we can maybe have more information on, you know, where it wants to go. But USD JPY tanking, crazy. But yeah, USD JPY, I'd still be keen on this trade setup over here. Let me also just put an alert. So yeah, that's essentially our setups. We just let not Nasdaq. We let Bitcoin play out, and then hopefully we hit TP and move SL to break even relatively soon. All right, guys. Well, that's me done for the day. We just let this trade run, and hopefully it plays out. Markets like war, they don't like terrorist attacks. Yeah, for reals. All right, guys. I'll see you guys maybe tonight if